Good morning, it's Queen Cleo. I'm coming to spread the gospel. So let's get into the video. I just wanted to come on and just to encourage the Hebrews and other nations during this time, because we are weary. We are, hurting because of what we see happening in the world. We see, strife. We see murder right before our eyes. The video I watched of the Hebrew brother that passed away due to excessive force, it was horrible. It was horrific, just to see a life and someone's telling them to stop. You're killing him and he's asking for his life. It was very hard to watch, and it started, riots all over the country, and it's been a lot of, destruction. And, with the pestilence and the plague in the mix, I just want to encourage everybody, you have to get into the Bible and still stay consistent in prayer, because there are people out there who are unlearned and they don't know that we are the people of the book. They don't know that God put curses upon Israel. They don't know to keep the Sabbath. And if they do know, they are been fed false doctrine, and they won't, return and repent back to what God says. You have to walk in his ways. You have to walk uprightly. You have to pray to God when it's hard to. You never stop praying. I've heard people say they're tired of praying because of what's happening to Israel, what's happening to the Hebrews. But you cannot stop praying. God wants you to return back and to do what he said in the Bible. It's hard to watch and see a brother, murdered before your eyes. But you gotta, also go back to scriptures and see what they went through in the Bible. They were murdered by their own people and by, today's world, Gentiles who have taken it too far and who are killing, the Hebrews for running, who are killing the Hebrews for just breathing. It irritates them because they have been taught to hate a nation. They have been taught to hate people of color, and that's not right. And all of them are not like that. So I'm not going to point the finger at one, people. But just to see the destruction afterwards, the rioting, to see them destroying businesses, that's not right. That's not right to destroy a business because you're mad at one person. It's a better way. If you want to stand and get up, do something positive. Inform others. And then you have to inform yourself by going to the Bible and asking God to show you who your true identity is. We are the people of the book. We are Hebrew Israelite. We belong to the Most High. So the Most High doesn't tell us to go out and loot. The Most High doesn't tell us to go out and, be destructive. He tells us to lean on him for understanding. He tells us to walk in his light, to be of him. He walked the world where he was constantly, bothered by the Pharisees and everything he did with healing people, spreading gospel and teaching the disciples and walking this earth and cleansing it of his sins. He gave his life for us, but he was still ridiculed, and he was between two thieves on a cross, and they picked him to die. So he went through everything, and he was able to stay in that word of his Father, that who sent him. He was able to keep his composure when it was hard to, being chased, being told that he was wrong and he was, not of God, and God sent his son here, to awake the nation, to wake up Israel, who he loved, who he said that Israel was the apple of thy eye. He chose them out of the others to be, his. But they have turned their backs. They have, walked their own ways. They have served other gods. They have created, a worship that is not of him, a day that's not of him. He set apart the Sabbath, but they want to worship on the sun worship, Sunday. That's not of him. They want to do, things to others that are horrible. They want to set apart people and say they're higher than, the Hebrews. They're better than the Hebrews. No one is better than any. God sees everyone for who they are. He chose Israel. He loved Israel. But God does not deal with this type of behavior. He does not like this type of behavior. He doesn't ordain you to go out and, fight, what you're saying, fight the system and, just burn up buildings, burn up, everything just because you're angry. You have to ask for understanding. What is going on, God? Why it's continuously the Hebrews who are getting murdered, who are being put in jail, who have been taken away, their families been taken away, who have been the topic of every conversation in every news outlet. There's crime here, there's crime there, but it's always the Hebrews who are being affected by something negative. And you have to think about it. You have to ask the question, what is going on? Why is this happening? Because slavery didn't start just, from what they wrote. It started in the Bible when the Hebrews in Israel did not listen to what God wanted for them. He wanted to bless them. He wanted them to be a great nation. He loved them that much that he came in human form when he was a being in the sky. Heaven. Sorry, not the sky. Heaven, sorry. He came to give those who were not the top people a chance. He came to heal the sick. He came to be a light to the nations. But today everyone has walked their own way. They have done whatever they wanted. They have done things that are not of him. They're doing things that he is not pleased with. They're idolizing people. They're creating their own religions and worshiping gods when he said it's just, it's one God. I am God. I am the first. I'm the last. There will be none before me, but you're putting other gods before him. You're creating destruction, your own destruction before him. It's not right to do, what I'm seeing that is going on in the media. And I know all media outlets, they just put negative things on there. And, they don't capture the positivity. I've seen protests that were positive, and every race has came together with the killing of this young man. This is brought closeness, but, on the other side, it have brought, out pain and frustration. But you have to speak out positive. You have to speak out the way God would want you to do it. He would not want you to fight. He would not want you to burn up buildings. He would not want you to steal. He would not want you to kill because of what happened. He wants you to return back and get in the Bible and ask God, give me understanding. And all you're getting, he said, get understanding. We have to wake up. This is not the last that we will see of destruction. When he returns on the 8th day, God said the slain of the Lord will be many. The blood will be up the horse's brow. He's coming back to take his kingdom back. He's coming back to come in a place where there's so much misleading of his people. There's pastors that know the truth, but they don't want to tell you the truth, that we're not going to heaven. They don't want to tell you that the day that they worship on is not the true Sabbath. When it was changed in history, it was always Saturday. It was always Friday sundown, which is when the sun goes down, that's a whole new day. But in the world, we, when the sun comes up, that's a whole nother day. Or 12 o'clock is a.m. is a whole nother day. No, it don't work like that. When the sun goes down, that's a whole nother day. So what we've been fed for years is not the truth. And you wonder why things are not going the way you want them. Because God is not pleased. He is not pleased. He is angry. He is frustrated with the people that he died for. The people he died for. If you love me, keep my commandments. That's what he tells us in the Bible. But just to see how things are unfolding, it's hard to watch. Just to see what's going on. Just the destruction. When I saw, a coworker of mine showed me pictures of a store that was trashed, that was busted. You came in and took all the merchandise, it just was hard to watch. Just to see how destructive people can be. And using a man who died as an excuse, that's not an excuse. If you want to do something, get up, pray, and ask God for understanding. If you want to partake in marching, march peacefully. But at the end of the day, God is over everything. And nothing's going to change until he returns and take his kingdom back. Nothing. You have to sit and wait. You have to lean on him for understanding, because this is not the way to be. You're not supposed to be vicious and angry, or you will get angry. But you are not to let your anger provoke you to sin. Because this is sin, what I'm seeing on what they're capturing. And what's going on. Fighting the law enforcement. Every cop is not that way. I've known several cops and they're not that way. So we can't let those who do wicked acts, have you thinking that every person has hatred for the Hebrews in their heart that are not of color, that are not Hebrew Israelites. Everyone is not that way. That person who did that, or the people who have done that, they have been taken into custody and they will receive their rewards. God is over everything. They're off the streets. They're not offending anyone. But you have to continue to seek him and continue to do what's right, to live a godly life, to live a just life when it's hard to. This is not the first time that this has happened. Read the Bible. The Hebrews went through a lot. They went through a lot. And it's coming out. It's the Bible. What Revelation speaks of, that's going to happen. It's going to be more destruction. It's going to be more pain. We're going to see this happen because of what God set forth upon the Hebrews. This will not stop. This will not stop. And knowing your true identity, where I'm at now, I would have been angry. I would have went out and wanted to do the same things. But I have been awoken. I have been renewed. I have been restored. So I know now I'm not supposed to act that way. I care a lot of what happens to Hebrews and what happens to people. But I'm not going to do it in a negative way. I want to encourage you to know your identity, to know that you have a God that loves you and who died for you and who will put the hedge around you. Things happen. You don't have that hedge when you're not seeking him, when you're not following his laws and commandments. Things will come upon you. The sword will come upon you because he can't protect you if you're not following what he says and you're not obeying him. God will protect you. Your enemies will be his. He will renew you. He will promote you. You will have a better life if you hearken. But if you live violently, you are going to have violence around you. We are not to do what the world is doing. We're not to celebrate what the world celebrates. We have gotten away from thy word. We have gotten away from God. And when we get away from what he says, then destruction will come upon us, because he's a jealous God. He is. And, God has put up with Israel, and he was patient. But the patience has worn thin with what he will accept. And he will not accept what's going on and what you guys are doing. I'm just, happy that I can come on my channel and I can, talk to you guys and encourage you guys and tell you about what, I've learned and what the truth is. He is the one and true living God. We are to serve him, and we are supposed to do what he says in that Bible to the T. Don't stray away from anything. When he tells you something, you do it. Eating outside of the dietary law, having strife with everyone, and just not doing what he says is not the way. It's not the way. And we have to wake up, and we have to get into the Bible. We have to do what was always for us to do, was to serve him in the right ways, for us to live and walk in his ways. And when you do that, you will feel better. You will be renewed in every way. You are a peculiar people. You are a royal priesthood. You were supposed to be the first, but now you're the last in everything. You're the highest in diseases. You are the highest in the system. You got to think about it. Why is this keep happening to one set of people? Why? You got to ask God that. You have to get understanding. And a lot of Hebrews won't get understanding, because they want to just do and live how they want to. It's too hard. When God said his instructions, his laws, his commandments are not grievous. They're easy to follow. But you want to be of the world and not of him. Yeah. It's sad. But knowing what I know now, I'm happy that God, woke me up and woke my family up. And now I can wake you guys up through his word and just, give you comfort during this time, that it's not going to always be this way. God is going to come back. He's going to renew. He's going to do away with everything that is evil away from his people. And we are going to reign with him 1,000 years. We will have a place in his kingdom. But we have to endure to the end. We have to show ourselves worthy. We have to study his word to show thyself approved, to be with him, because he doesn't deal with sin. He doesn't deal with iniquity, and that's sin. You cannot be, a hateful, a strifeful person and say you love him, because that's not the way that he will accept you. So you have to come away from this, come away from being, a nation that is just worshiping everything outside of what God told them to do. Worshiping and not knowing the truth about him. And, I'm still learning. I'm still being renewed myself. So I'm not better than you. I'm not higher than you. I just know who I am. I know my identity now. So I know how to move in the way that God tells me to, because he gave me the breath of life, and that's how I breathe every day. That's how I walk every day. That's how, you do. You are here because of what God put in us. This is his breath. We belong to him. No, we're not of this world. We are not to serve what the world wants us to serve. We're not to act the way the world is acting, because that's not of God. And I just hope you guys, stay calm during this time. I know it's hard to stay calm. I know it's hard to see what happens to our brothers and sisters and not want to go crazy and off the handle and just do all things that the mind can come up with when you're in pain. But you have to pray. The only way that you will have relief if you come willingly and humble to God, and he change your life for the better. He awaken and give you sight to see that this is what they have hid from me, God. They have said that you were this color. They have said that we were supposed to worship on this day. They have said that we were supposed to celebrate this. But God tells you, these are the feasts of the Lord. Celebrate them in their seasons. This is my dietary law. This is what you can consume, and this is what you can't consume. This is how you're supposed to react to those who are not of me, and to stay in thy word, and to allow me, because vengeance is the Lord's, not ours. Give your problems to him. Don't go out there and be violent and create destruction and create a reward for yourself, because God is over you. And if you act outside and you walk outside of his light and you act in a way that is not him, he can't protect you, because you're sinning against him now when you do things that he tells you not to do. So I just wanted to encourage you guys this morning. I know, I was talking a lot, but just to see what was going on, it was heartbreaking. And, we still have to, stay of God in everything we do. We have to put him first, and we have to allow him to work things out for us. So I'm just praying that the Hebrews will be healed and restored. I'm praying for the family that lost that young man, and just to see that was horrible, was horrific. But he is asleep, and those who have did wrong in the sight of God will receive a reward. So I pray for the family. I pray for family of everyone who have faced that type of pain. But you can go out and protest, but do it peacefully. You can help your community, educate them, do it peacefully, like I'm doing on this platform. Just educating those who are lost, those who are broken, about the truth about God. I'm not, ordaining or condoning. I didn't mean to say condoning any violence, because that's not the way. That's not the way. That's not God. No. Peacefully. If you have a message to spread it peacefully. It's love, not hate. We have to stop. It's not right. On both ends, it's not right. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for everyone during this time. You have to stay in thy word. You have to take precaution. The plague, the pestilence is not over. Corona is not over. Still do what is put out there medically, what they're saying. Stay safe. Stay at home. Wear protection when you go out. Wash your hands. Sanitize. Still do what you have to do to protect yourself, because you cannot tempt God. If you have that, hedge around, you go out, oh, I have the hedge of God. I don't have to do anything. Yes, you still do. Because God doesn't want you to tempt. Just because you have his hedge, oh, I'm going to go out and just fight anybody. You can't tempt, you don't supposed to tempt God. So I pray that this video lifts you up and gives you comfort during this time. We have to endure to the end. We are of the book. We are Hebrew Israelites. We know our identity. We know what's going on. So when you know what's going on, you know how to stay positive and be of God. To everyone, stop and pray. Lean on him. I know it's hard right now, but we are to serve him during every time. Bad times, good times, we are to hearken, and we will have a better life. We will be renewed. We will be who he created us to be. So this is my time. I tried to go as long as I could, just to get things out and to talk to you and connect to my subscribers. And I'm thankful for my subscribers. With the number I'm at, it's a blessing just to have you guys support me, still growing in talking and expressing myself. So this is the way that I choose to spread the gospel and to do what God allow us to do. So I want you guys to have a blessed morning. Pray, seek God. This is Clean Cleo signing off.